I'm Lou Bolster, and I'm sitting here with Gerry Moore, and we're going to visit about being on the Beautification Commission in Fairfield, Iowa. Both what the Beautification Commission is and what it means to be involved, and how gratifying it is to be involved in that project. Welcome, Gerry.
Welcome, Lou. So, Lou, tell me, what is the purpose of the Beautification Commission?
The commission, basically, it's in the name. It serves to beautify Fairfield. It serves to continually look around Fairfield, our beautiful town, and look at how can Fairfield be even more beautiful, to be pleasing to the people who live here and be inviting to people who might want to be moving here to consider to make Fairfield their home. So we look to projects and find ways to uplift that feeling, that beautiful feeling within the town. That's it in a nutshell, and there's all kinds of ways we can do that.
So I noticed that we have these beautiful planters in front of the Sondheim Center. Was that something the Beautification Commission did?
Absolutely. In fact, not just the planters there, but we've got some planters downtown around the square, and all of the planting, we call them nodes, the flower, the little gardens around the square, and all the plantings in them. That's all from the Beautification Commission. We design that, plan it, we fund it through grants and through the funding we get from the city. We get donations for the labor and effort to maintain those nodes and to keep them weeded and cleaned up. The city graciously puts mulch on it every year, and sometimes we help out with the funding for that mulch as well. So yeah, I mean, all of the community-wide plantings and flowers are all from the Beautification Commission.
I recall some years ago that we had to hand in banners around the square and lighting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Before the new lights were installed, the banners that were up had been painted by a number of artists in town, and over time, a lot of the arms that hold the banners up had broken and had gone missing. So we did a big survey of what the banner locations were, how many light poles we had that needed banners or could handle a banner, and how many of those poles that we had, and the fastening arrangement to hold those poles on. Did a big survey of all that, and then we got grants again and purchased the materials necessary to be able to completely put up the full complement of banners again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah.
And we also had a painting project painting the gazebo in the square.
Yep, painting the gazebo on the square was one of the projects we painted. We also painted the little shelter down at O.B. Nelson for the dog park. That was painted by the Beautification Commission. When we do the painting projects, we typically get paint donated for the project, either by one of the local paint vendors in town or by one of the larger industrial paint vendors in Iowa. So
Great.
Yeah. So.
Let me think, what else have we've done a lot. We filled all the planters and hanging planters around the square.
Yeah, and of course that's a big project because every fall, early winter, we sit down with the catalogs, the flower catalogs that come out, and we select what flower combination we want, which is a combination of texture and color. That's really what we're looking at there. So there's a lot of different flowers that we can choose to do that, to create that palette, and we sometimes find a unique combination that just looks really good even in the heat of the summer, and that's what we want. Sometimes we've made choices in the past that have not looked too good, and we learn from those mistakes. Exactly, definitely. When people are coming up to me randomly on the street, gosh, I wish those planters looked better. They just, I hear that, and we take note. So we look for those combinations that really look well, and the plants themselves, the types of plants that are good and hardy, and yeah, we take care of that every year.
And we have a good number of volunteers to help too.
Yes.
With maintaining the pots and nodes and other things. But we're always in need of more.
Yeah, we've got the main commission, and how many is on the commission typically? I think
6 or 8.
I think we're supposed to have 9. ideally. But it fluctuates as people are able to volunteer. Right now, we are down a bit because last fall we had 3 volunteers on the commission leave the community. So we're looking to rebuild that number.
Right.
And so if anybody happens to be interested in being a part of this project, certainly contact the mayor's office or any one of the commissioners. It is a mayoral appointed position.
Right.
So
Yep.
the way that works is if you're interested, you let somebody know, you would probably come to a meeting and see how we function, and you can then decide whether you want to be involved or not. And then hopefully you say, yes, I want to be a part of this project. Then we refer you to the mayor's office, and then the mayor agrees to that, and you are officially confirmed by the mayor.
Right.
So, and it's a 3-year commitment, ideally. Not that
Right.
that always happens, but
Yeah, we don't want to train people and have them just leave. But also, I want to point out that from my experience, it's not like a full-time commitment.
yeah.
It's really less than part-time because we only meet once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have planting projects, maybe 6 a year, I'm guessing.
Yep. Yep.
You know, spring and fall, and then clean up stuff. We do Central Park. What do we call that? The Street Sweepers Ball.
Street sweepers ball. Yep.
Sweepers Ball at Central Park. So, yeah, and it's fun when you get together a group of people
Yeah.
and they're all doing the same thing with you. It's fun.
Yeah. At the ball, we typically have we get music piped in from KMCD.
Yeah.
Somebody will bring some kind of a food, something to eat, you know, or drink, and we just kind of make it a party of it. And we strategize quickly and work our way around all the sidewalks on the square and pull all the weeds out of the sidewalk and clean it all up, you know. Yep.
Yeah, it makes it look nice.
Yeah.
So, let's think.
Some of the other projects that we've taken on, though, like you mentioned the hanging pots, we used to have hanging pots that were just a hanging wire basket that had cocoa fiber matting, and then were potted, you know, plants were planted there. They dry out really quick.
So we upgraded.
So we upgraded. We got some grant funding, and we got much bigger pots, and they're bigger because they have a water reservoir in them. They hold a couple gallons of water, you know, and we noticed right away when we had the first year we did it, we had a number of them were the old planters and the new planters, and the new ones were so voluminous and beautiful and full, you know, whereas the old ones that were just watered by Parks and Rec's crew, they were just so tired. They just couldn't hold the water, you know.
When we get hot temperatures in the summer and it's drought,
Yeah.
it's nice to know that we have pots that can take care of themselves.
Yeah. And of course, along that line with watering, one of our projects was getting the nodes all tied in with the sprinkler system in Central Park. You know, the grass has a built-in sprinkler system, and so we tied in with that system. So when the grass is being watered, those nodes that are directly attached to the Central Park all get watered now too. And eventually, we hope to extend that to the watering of the nodes around the outside of the park. But that's a little bit more detailed because that involves getting plumbing underneath the roadways, et cetera. So we have to wait for those roads to need to get rebuilt for whatever reason, and then we'll get that infrastructure in and get that taken care of.
That's a worthy plan.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see, what other projects have we done?
So many.
Yeah, oh, for instance, the trash cans.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the trash can, you remember they have this big iron cage, right? And they had a metal liner that was all rusted out and nasty looking. And then inside of that was a mishmash of whatever Parks and Recs could find for a barrel inside of there that wasn't seen. And so one of the things that I personally did as a part of the commission was work with the commission to get the funding, and we had local vendors. Again, I like to work locally. Sandblast the iron cages. We were missing some of the cast aluminum tops, so we made a form and had Falco cast new aluminum tops to fit them, and got them all powder coated, again, all locally. The liners went away, the rusted ones, and we had complete new barrels made by Lick Creek Enterprises south of us. Again, a local vendor. They're a nice heavy plastic that look right, will never rust, and they're the trash receptacle all in one.
Yes, and then we had a sign campaign, right?
Yeah, that was another one.
Local artists to make signs.
Yep.
Like use the can man or something like
yeah,
that.
you know, basically litter awareness signs in all the parks,
Yeah.
and that was just last year's project.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
yeah.
That was nice.
And then there's the entrance signs.
Yes, we maintain those gardens.
Yeah, that were, the big brick or stone block signs that say "Welcome to Fairfield." We take care of all those plants. We work with the Manufacturers Association initially to get those signs all done. What's that?
Was it precast or?
No, that's actual stone that's all brought in. But then we did the plantings, designed the plantings, got the funding for the plantings, maintained those plantings. So, and then the service signs as well. For instance, on the east side coming into Fairfield, there's this beautiful metal arched piece of metal work that's nicely painted and landscaped, and all the service signs, the church signs and the Rotary signs and all those are mounted on there, nice and organized. And eventually we'll do the same thing on the west as well, where again there's a bunch of service signs, but everybody just does them independently. So they're stuck on a fence post or a wooden post, and it just doesn't look very nice. So again, thinking about ultimate beauty for a community, we're going, what can we do here? So we'll do another coordinated effort to make a matching one to the east and have that in out there. So, yeah.
Oh dear.
So tell me, from your perspective, I'm currently on the commission, so I don't have the same perspective you have. You have a perspective of having been on the commission and just last year left the commission. What was it like for you looking back in terms of seeing your involvement in the commission, gratification? Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, on so many levels, it is very gratifying. You're working with people who share your vision for Fairfield. And if you're a gardener, you get your hands dirty, which is really a joy. And like I said, the commitment is not overwhelming. So it's easy to fit into your life. A few hours here and there is not too hard to do. What else can I say? I felt pride.
Uh-huh.
I would tell people, I'm on the Beautification Commission, and I did that, and I did that, and I did that.
Yeah, cool.
So,
cool.
yeah.
Now, there's something else we do called the Rose Awards.
Oh, right, the Rose Awards.
Yeah, go ahead and visit a little bit about that.
So we give Rose Awards to 3 different categories. We give them to businesses, to residential, and to historic properties. And what we're looking for is people who are keeping their homes well-maintained. They have gardens and landscaped, and everything's neat and tidy and beautiful. Especially if we come across someone who's like totally redone their house, did a beautiful facelift on it and landscaped it beautifully. Those are candidates for the Rose Award. So we're always on the lookout when we're driving around town, look at homes that look like they've had attention. The homeowner took pride in it and had. So by doing that, by giving Rose Awards, we hope to inspire other people to do the same thing. So,
sure. So it's like a community acknowledgement of what they've done. And
right. And if there's a house on the block that doesn't look so great, perhaps they see what other people have done themselves.
Sure.
May inspire them to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot of money necessarily, just really attention to really make a big difference.
Using a rake
Yeah.
and a broom.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Sure. Cool. Nice. Let's see, what else have we done? Oh, you were telling about your experience being on the commission and looking back. Anything else there?
I thought it was fun. We did projects cleaning up the library, which is just 2 blocks away from me. So I got to see the results of that a lot. Planting the planters with other people. It just really is fun. We talk and laugh and tell jokes. And yeah.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I've been on the commission for a while. It's a 3-year
lot
term.
longer than me.
Yeah, I've been on since 2012, so I've been there for a while. But I'm continue being on it because it's fulfilling. It's something. It's a way for me to give back, and I cherish that and enjoy giving back to the community that I love and that I get to call home. And do what I can to help make it just that much little bit better, so that the next guy coming along goes, "Gosh, this is a beautiful place to live."
You're invaluable to the Beautification Commission. You always coming up with, oh, found another nuisance report, and I did this and I did that.
Yeah,
We then talked about nuisance reports.
yeah, that's right. I mean, one of the things we do is, always go as we move through the community, looking for, or not. I won't say looking for, but being aware. That's a better way to put it. Being aware of something that could be a little more beautiful, or that is basically not. Is crossing an ordinance in a wrong way, and whether it's some piece of furniture left out on the curb that's not being picked up.
Piles of trash.
That's a real common one, or an inordinate amount of trash and garbage left on the side of a home. That kind of a thing. When we notice that, we can certainly report that to the code enforcement officials at City Hall. There's a way to do that online now as well, and. Basically, then the code enforcement officials get involved in that and let the owners of the property know that there's an infraction of an ordinance happening here. But it's not like we're a watchdog group. We just happen to, if we notice something,
we have a
call
code
it out.
enforcement officer in town now,
Right.
so we don't really have to do that much of it.
Yep. But we can certainly give a nod to those projects as they come up. But then also we look at bigger projects like noticing that Howard Park, which gets a huge amount of use for the farmers market every summer, is kind of, there's parts of it that are a little dilapidated. We found some concrete pedestals that are no longer used, and we're working with the city to get those removed and get nice turf in there again, and some other projects in Howard Park. So, it's just constantly uplifting and making the community more beautiful.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for visiting with me. This has
Thanks
been
for
fun.
being here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.